We're back on the morning show with Wise Guy Wednesday. All month you've been cooking up something for us, and today's really no exception.
I like cooking, you know, and I realize that there's so much science in food. And last week we did cooking eggs, if you might remember, okay? And we saw that eggs was a lot of protein sort of suspended in water, and you can whip the egg whites and you get the sort of fluffy, stiff thing, and you can bake it and get this yummy meringue and stuff like that. And I realized, you know, the other yummy thing that you whip is cream.
Right.
And so we're going to make liquid nitrogen ice cream using cream here in a minute. But I thought we might as well just talk about cream in general, because you can do a lot of stuff with cream. So what and it's not really
with our mad scientists here,
and it's not really all that good for you either. You know, you don't want to drink a whole thing of cream like this because it's, even though it tastes good, it's a lot of fat in it. And that's what makes cream interesting, because
the fat is
the fat, right? And so cream, milk in general, but cream in particular has a lot. It has proteins and it has fat, and it's also water. And so if you can get these little globs of fat to join together, then you'll have a big glob of fat, which is basically what butter is. And if you can also whip cream and make it sort of fluffy, and then you get the sort of whipped cream stuff. And so here, this is this antique gizmo that my wife found at a yard sale, I believe.
Right.
And it's kind of neat. And what this does is it's an old-fashioned butter churner. And the way that you make butter from heavy cream is that you just have to get those fat globs to stick together, you just whip it around. You smash it up. And so this thing, see this thing? You just kind of
that is neat.
Pull this thing up and down, and you see how this thing, you know, whips around in there?
Right.
Okay, I did this last night, and it actually takes much longer than you think. And by the end of it, you get a lot of muscles. So what I did was, here, I started out with this thing half full of heavy cream, and I went up and down with this thing for longer than I care to admit.
Right.
And then after a little while, after about a half an hour of that, you get, it separates out, and you get the sort of buttermilk, this creamy stuff on what's left over, on one's, you know, mixed up.
And it takes a half hour just to get to there?
Well, to get the butter part sort of solidifies, and here's what you get.
Okay.
So this is the butter. So that's, you get the solid stuff left in here, as well as this the creamy stuff surrounding it, the buttermilk. And then, so this is now butter that I made at home.
And you can taste it?
A little bit, yeah. And I put a little bit of salt in it, but not very much. Okay, so it tastes like butter.
Right.
And it's basically, you know, fattening. But you could put this on your toast.
Very fattening, yeah.
Sorry.
A little too much more than I should have bit off there.
Yeah, okay. And so that's butter making, and it's really interesting. I've been reading up on this stuff. To make butter, what people used to do is they would leave the cream sitting out for a while, so it would just start to sour. Because when cream is sort of souring, the butter separates out more easily, and it happens faster than it does otherwise. It's kind of an old trick. Now, something else that I like to do
is the fun stuff.
This is the fun stuff. Okay, so this is, you can pour some cream into a bowl, and you just get your mixer out, and I've already mixed this stuff up, and it goes from being just a little bit of liquid to being rather a lot of whipped cream.
Right.
And whipped cream, I won't make you eat this, so I'll eat this. Okay. This stuff is really, I love this stuff. It's delicious. And so basically, this is now cream with little tiny bubbles of air that have been whipped in there. The proteins are stretched out, and they kind of link together, and they trap water and the fat in this protein matrix, just sort of like when you whipped up the eggs, except there's a lot more fat in there, and that's what gives it the good taste. And to make ice cream, what you do is you want to start with cream, which is what we have right here. And we're going to do this in the next segment.
Right.
And you want to mix some sugar in with that, and then you want to get it cold so that the water that's mixed in with the cream, that's part of the cream, starts to crystallize. And then the water itself sort of becomes mushy, and it traps the fat and the sugar inside, and that's what ice cream is. And it's really delicious.
Very interesting.
And what we're going to do is we're going to make it really quickly using liquid nitrogen. And so
speed up the process a little bit.
We're going to speed up the process, and I have a whole bunch of it here because I know Robert likes to play with it. This stuff is about 200 below zero, and you can use it to freeze very rapidly the cream. So I'm just sort of giving you the example here.
It's already working.
It's working pretty good.
Very cold, too.
Yeah, it's very cold. So, of course, we're going to make a great big batch. This is... I hope I don't break.
Cracking the ball already.
I'll just stop around.
We'll be back with Matt Stellan, our Wise Guy, in 30 minutes. We'll make sure the bowl's not broken here before we make the ice cream. If you have any questions for the Wise Guy, you can email us at themorningshow@wcia.com. You can always log on to Matt's online site at wiseguy.net. It's coming up on 6:53.